No. That was terrible. Absolutely terrible. There's no way I can accept a start like that. When I forgot to do the do. Okay, let's fix up this screen properly and do it properly. You know, if a job's worth doing, do it right. So I can't accept that. I cannot accept that. This, however, looks much, much better. Let me get a little volume on that. Yeah. Now let's go. Let's go for take two. Yes. That's much better. It's the Raphael Dawkins with the Combat Radio. And you are in tune to Boxing Talk with Rafi 226. Yeah, so what is this? Is this the fourth time or the third time? Is it 3 back-to-back? Where are we? Tuesday? Pretty sure I went live Monday. Well, pretty sure I went live Sunday, Monday, and now Tuesday. So it's 3 in a row. 3 in a row. Okay. Born ready. OMG. Okay, so what we doing? Okay. This is the Mark Breland Leaks the Truth episode. As you may know by now, Mark Breland went on another show. What was that? Spencer and Tunde's show. And that was Mark Breland went on there live. Apparently, there was some kind of document they had to sign or some verbal agreement that they wouldn't be asking him questions about. What was that? Watergate. No questions about Watergate. That was the agreement, apparently. What's that rattling? What snapped? The springs are gone. Okay. But they did nonetheless. Apparently, Spencer knew, but Tunde didn't know. So Tunde went ahead with those kind of questions. And but Mark Breland said that he wasn't supposed to be talking about that on there, that topic. Specifically, he asked not to be asked questions on that specific topic. And but they did nonetheless, regardless. Okay, so what Mark Breland has done is he took the liberty to go to post up on social media, to post up his story, his version, his full account of his working relationship, working with Deontay, the Bronze Bomber Wilder. And okay, so that's what we're going to be looking at today. I think he did around 5 pages of his account of working with the Bronze Bomber Wilder. Okay, so how are we going to do this? Are we going to do a quick warming video? Are we going to do a quick little few minutes, couple of minutes of a warming video just to get people settled? Get your cup of tea and crumpets ready. Let me have a quick look. If anything is appropriate. I like to do these things on the fly, get the broad framework in place, and then leave room for improvisation. So now we're going to have a quick looky. I'm going to have a quick looky to see if there's anything appropriate for a couple minutes that I could drop in for a couple minutes. We've already looked yesterday. We did Who is the King of the Mr. Averages, or the Mr. Average. It was very difficult to word that one. Joshua versus Fury, WBO conditionally approved. That's only a couple minutes long. Okay, I found it. Let's do that. What else is there? Nice short one. Okay, let's do that. That's appropriate. Let's do that. I'm sorry. Okay. Okay. Right. So let me cut the music and share my screen. Stop sharing. Okay. And then start sharing. Let's do this. See if I can find it in a nice, swift, and orderly manner. Okay, we got it. What else is there that I forgot to do? Let me put the link in the chat. Boom. Okay, there it is. Right, so what we're doing now, press play. Very simple. Boom. With the breaking news, the WBO to conditionally approve the undisputed fight between Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury. The article comes from BoxingScene.com and reads, whatever lingering issues remain in putting together the undisputed fight at heavyweight are no longer in play. Okay, so Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury have now been given the green light by the WBO to proceed. Okay, so the highly anticipated heavyweight clash will come with all major titles at stake. All major titles at stake, including the WBO title, who are no longer calling for a mandatory title defense. Hoorah! Hoorah! Okay, and that came or comes from sources with intimate knowledge of the development. Okay, so as we know, the big stumbling block for Undisputed was the WBO, who were insisting that their mandated guy, Alexander Usyk, would need to get his shot first. But now it looks like the sands have shifted and the WBO are allegedly and conditionally giving their green light for Anthony Joshua to fight Tyson Fury for undisputed. No need for Joshua, who's the current holder of the WBO belt, as well as the WBA, the IBF, the IBO. Anthony Joshua no longer needs to drop the WBO belt in order to face Tyson Fury for undisputed. OMG. That's just piling on the pain for Deontay Wilder. Where does this leave the Wilder Tyson Fury situation? Where does it leave him in the mix? Shelly Finkel has come out and said mediation has failed and now they're going to arbitration. OMG. Okay, so that's the breaking news. And if you want to hear more about this, we go into it in detail in Boxing Talk with Rafi 219. I'll leave the link in the description box. What say you? Have your say. The WBO to conditionally approve undisputed. It's Rafael Dawkins, it's the Combat Radio, it's the like, it's the subscribe, it's the comments, it's the shares, and it is the hitting that bell icon to stay updated with news and notifications. Don't forget about the live show. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter. It's the Rafael Dawkins, the Combat Radio, and I'm out. Okay. So let's get into the thing. Let's start proper now. We've had the warming. Everybody should be nicely settled in. Now let's get into this thing. Okay. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at the roll call. Let's stop sharing that. Boom, boom, boom. Let's get into the roll call. Let's bring that down. Okay. So what we got? Let's have a looky. Yes. Philip Khan Roberts up in the building. James Jameson. up in the building. Boxing loser stars. Who else we got? Who else we got in here? Bright and early. Hope the fight doctor. Hope the fight doctor is on, says Cliff Bailey. Okay. We got the Kenny. We got the Kenny in the house. And who else? What's going on? What's going on? Where did I see that? Where did I just see there? Where is it? Play some Fleetwood Mac. Yeah, Fleetwood Mac Rumors. What an album. What an album. Many a hit. Many a hit on that. Fury might not want to tune up before Joshua. Bloody hell. That's a good point. That's a good point. OMG. What's going on here? Fury versus Joshua with Usyk versus Joyce on the undercard. That would be awesome. That would be awesome. Just imagine if that took place in the UK. What's this here? Mediation and arbitration must have failed. Finkel no longer working with Wilder. Is Finkel no longer working with Wilder? OMG. Damn. And we have Big John Fury, the father of the Gypsy King, up in the building. Always good to have you. Always good to have you, John. No eye gouging, please. Thank you. Smash that like button and hit that subscribe button if you are not already subscribed. Let's have a look at this. Cliff Bailey. To be honest, I'm so hyped about Joshua versus Fury. Don't even care about any undercard. As long as the fight is made, I would be happy indeed. But then just imagine if you had a good undercard as well. Boom. Where we at? Where we at? Where we at? James Jameson comes out with an official statement. I would hereby like to recant any previous comments I have ill-advisedly made about the Kinahan clan. I have been told with no uncertain terms that they are a lovely, peaceful bunch of chappies. Daniel is a modern-day saint whose hobbies include gardening, poetry, and watching Father Ted, the box set, of course. And in comes a man like the Aaron Daly. And D.V. Douglas says Wilder is a chump. OMG. And without much further ado, let's get into this. I think everybody knows what the topic is. Everybody knows what the topic of the show is. And it is Mark Breland leaks the truth. Working with Wilder was almost impossible. Impossible, I tell you. And let me share my screen with you because we're going into, as I explained earlier, where is this? Where is the thing that I'm looking for? And I still haven't found what I'm looking for. Well, now I have. Boom. So there it is. Let's have a look how it's showing up on the screen. OMG. It's taking up the whole damn screen. But that's good. At least you can see it. Okay, let me see if I can blow this up just a little bit. A little bit more. Just a little bit more. How do I? Okay. Is that lined up nicely? I think so. Okay, so as you can see, in this region, Mark Breland. This is from Mark Breland. This is on Mark Breland's official, official Instagram. Matter of fact, rat-tat-tat-tat. Yes, leave it like that. Leave it like that. Okay. And what? How do I scroll? I think we got what? One. Huh? What the hell's going on here? How's this going to work? How is this going to work? Is it not going to work? Hold on, let me drop it down a little bit because I think there's about 4 pages of this shiznix. So let me just drop it down a little bit and see how this shiznix is going to work. Oh, is that it? Okay, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so the 5 pages. 5 pages of Mark Breland expressing his true thoughts, feelings, and observations, and giving insights into what it was like being a trainer of Deontay, the Bronze Bomber Wilder. Okay, let's go back over here. Okay, so let's do this. Right, where are we? Where are we? Thumbs up, gang, in the building. Okay, let's. Coach, you need combat radio merch. Yeah, 100%. I'm gonna get the merch up. We'll have the merch hopefully by mid 2021. This is 2021, hopefully. Merch by mid 2021. Okay. Salute from the NYC. Glacier done. Get it right, Raf. Get it right. Breland just put the final nails into Wilder's career coffin. OMG. Well, let's get into it without any further ado. Let's get into this shiznix. Okay, so. Okay, here we are. Okay, so now you can, hold on. Did I drop the link in the chat? Is the link in the chat? Let me do it again, just in case. Don't want to leave anybody out in the cold. That's not like the Rafi. That's not like the Rafi. Okay, we're going in. Okay, so these are the words of Mark Breland, and let's get into it. Now you can call this the official Mark Breland Speaks. I've had enough. I'm going to say some things here that was reserved for my autobiography. Still by the book. There's so much more. Okay. I'm also going to add a couple of pics. One of a quote from a daily news reporter where he says the usually reserved Mr. Breland is often quiet unless it's something he's passionate about. So true. And this is one subject that has me very, very passionate, actually. Beyond passion. Okay. So I'm not giving nobody this interview. I'll use my own platform since I've been opened like a can of sardines. Opened like a can of sardines. OMG. Okay. On the last podcast, I was a guest on. Damn. They couldn't even wait till the next show to talk about me. I went on that show with them following my request of no Deontay talk. Okay, so Breland put in a specific no Deontay talk clause as a condition of going on the show, apparently. Okay, and that has been backed up by Tunde Ajayi, I believe. So yeah, I went on that show with them following my request of no Deontay talk. But when you've been holding on to something for so long and you're pissed off about it, obviously anyone can push your buttons and all kinds of ish may come out. But that's not the environment I would have chose to speak on. So here's Mark's take. I'll start backwards from the podcast I just did. Anyone who thinks I can beat AJ or Deontay's opponents now at the age of 57 doesn't require a response. At my age, the only fight I'll have is one for my life. I ain't getting hit no more. I've had my share of fights. As a fighter with a little experience, I'm speaking on what I see. I stand by my words. Hold on, where is it? I lost my place. I stand by my words that the skill set and boxing IQ I see on AJ and many of the fighters that my former fighter fought would not get past a few rounds with me if I were the same era and weight class, obviously. As far as saying Deontay is done and I'm done, I meant with each other. I don't have no idea of where that man's career is going, and I'm not interested in trying to predict his career. The facts are that my time in the coach position with the Bronze Bomber changed drastically in the 12 years since I started with him. When he turned pro, JD's called me and humbly stated that he needed a trainer for a great prospect that he had at his gym. Boxing goes like this. You walk into my gym, I train you. I found you, and sometimes I manage you too. So Jay was seen as the head trainer in the media, but I was the only one on the team with a boxing resume. And I was the only trainer. This was okay with me because of my humility. I didn't have to be the one in front of the camera. I've lived that life. After Deontay became a name in boxing, new members joined the team. And it got to the point where I don't even have my fighter's telephone number. OMG. I haven't spoke to Deontay alone in years. Damn. I hasn't spoke to the man alone in years. That does not sound like a very close relationship. After Deontay became a name in boxing, new members joined the team, and it got to the point where I didn't even have my fighter's phone number. OMG. So it looks like at the start of the relationship, they were close, but then new members started coming in. Looks like Deontay Wilder got some yes men to come in, and the relationship got further and further apart. OMG. Let me take a quick break from that to see what's going on in the chat, see what's on people's minds. Okay, jokes. Jokes is on people's minds. Oh dear. What's going on? Jay was no boxing trainer. His place is helping middle-aged women in fitness classes. OMG. Let's have a look. What's going on in the chat? Say Wilder's name 3 times when BG London appears. Leighton Evelyn up in the building. Okay, let's kind of carry on. Everybody who's just come in, you're coming at the right time. We're just on the second page of Mark Breland's account of his time working with Deontay Wilder. And started off when he got a call. From JD saying that he's got a very exciting prospect on his hands, very promising prospect, and will you come and be his trainer? But Mark Breland here is saying that as time went by, more and more people came into the camp, and he got to the point where he doesn't even have his fighter's phone number. Of course, he's talking about Deontay Wilder. Okay, let us continue. We're here now. I haven't spoke to Deontay alone in years. The things that I told Deontay to do had to be ran past Jay. Oh, so you had to tell Deontay what to do through Jay. Got to run it through Jay before he says it to Deontay. Damn, that's a very peculiar arrangement. Okay, so Deontay had become untrainable because he was at the point of he knows more about boxing than all of us. Okay, so what I'm getting from that is that Deontay got a few knockouts. He realized that he could tuck people away, he could tuck subpar opponents away, and he got to the point where he felt he knew more about boxing than all of the rest of them put together. Okay, so teaching a correct jab was not a priority to learn once he continued on his knockout streak. So a coach can only teach someone if they're willing to learn. Okay, so Mark Breland saying that Deontay Wilder was not willing to learn. He had no time for the finer points of throwing the most fundamental jab in boxing. For the fundamental punch in boxing, excuse me. The jab. Had no time for that, Chisniks. Just the right hand. He got right hand happy. A coach can only teach someone if they are willing to learn. We would wait for the champ for hours before he arrived at the gym, and Jay would inform us of his mood. If he had a bad day, we had to be quiet, to not be on the receiving end of his wrath. According to Jay, in an effort to not be fired. And yeah, hitting the bag, jumping the rope, and running is not high on his list of priorities for him. So if he doesn't feel like it, he don't do it. And Jay didn't seem to understand the importance of such things. Okay, so let's get into this page. This is the second page. And what's going on here? Jack of Gospic says Mark Breland was speaking a lot of truths, especially you troll. Get out of here, you nutter. So on that page, the second page, we have Mark Breland talking about not having Deontay Wilder's telephone number. Hold on, did I accidentally click the next page? Oh, you walk into my gym. Okay, all right. So not having Deontay Wilder's telephone number. Deontay Wilder had become untrainable because he was at the point of feeling that he knew more about boxing than everyone else. So teaching the fundamentals was of no interest to Deontay Wilder. He was just right hand happy. Now, interestingly, here's a very interesting one. It says, we would wait for the champ for hours before he arrived at the gym. Okay, so if they're waiting for the champ for hours, that means that the champ didn't come at the appointed time. And he had people waiting for him like he was some kind of prima donna. Yeah, some kind of prima donna. What the hell? Get on the hell up out of here. Yeah, so seems like Deontay was some kind of prima donna, keeping professionals waiting for hours, turning up late to the gym, hours late. So that doesn't speak to me of that doesn't say dedication. That doesn't talk of hard work and dedication. Turning up hours later, that's, as a matter of fact, I'll go so far as to say that's disrespectful. That is very disrespectful. That is very unprofessional. So Deontay Wilder was unprofessional and disrespectful with regards to his training regimen, keeping his trainer waiting for hours and the sparring partners waiting for hours, strength and conditioning people waiting for hours. Highly unprofessional, and he felt as if he knew more than everyone else. And hitting the bag, jumping rope, running is not high on the list for him. So if you don't feel like it, he ain't doing it. And Jay didn't seem to understand the importance of those basic fundamentals. My. Okay, let's see what's going on. Let's see what people are saying. Oh, dang. Okay, so we're doing a late sound check. Doing the late sound check, and I just noticed, uno momento. That's the sound you hear when someone is kind enough to make the chat litty, show their appreciation. And in this instance, it's the Leighton Evelyn. Big up James and Philip, real people. Okay. Are you suggesting that Deontay Wilder isn't real people? Okay. So let's get back into the article, or rather the writings of Mark Breland. Mark Breland's observations. Okay, is this a new page? Uno momento. Let me see what's going on. Okay, so Jay didn't seem to understand the importance of those things. So he would make it clear not to ask Deontay Wilder twice. Damn. You can't ask Deontay Wilder to do something twice. Otherwise, it'd flip his lid. So it appears. Okay, so if I tried to pull Deontay to the side to tell him what I saw, what I was seeing, Jay made it clear. Don't say nothing. You don't want to make him mad. I've watched this man, Deontay, speak to many people very disrespectfully. And although I'm an extremely humble and calm man, I'm a man first. I stayed on the team because I've been there from the beginning. And I believed with his power and a willingness to learn more, he could be a force in the sport. I never thought anything this insane could take place. I should not have addressed who had the water because that accusation is so asinine. It doesn't even deserve a response. Anyone who knows just a tiny little bit about boxing knows we're tested before and after a fight. So that's the end of that ludicrous allegation. Okay, and that's a very, very interesting point. I've raised it before, and I will keep raising it until I get an answer from the highest position. I said it before, and now Mark Breland is saying it. These cats in World Championship fights are tested before the fight, immediately prior to the fight, and immediately after. They are tested. So Mark Breland says, I should not have addressed who had the water because that accusation is so asinine it doesn't deserve a reply. Anyone who knows just a tiny little bit about boxing knows that they are tested before and after a fight. So what Mark Breland is saying there, that if there were any irregularities, anything in Deontay Wilder's system that shouldn't have been there, it would have shown up on the tests. And moreover, if nothing irregular was caught on the test, they can have those samples retested, looking specifically for any doping agents, any relaxants, muscle relaxants, any dope. So those samples can be retested upon Deontay Wilder's request. So it makes you wonder, has he already had those samples tested and they've come back negative? So he ain't talking about it now, Mo? Is that what's happened? Okay, as we move on, let me do a little quick check, see what's crack-a-lacking. Let me see. Who said that? I don't think I need to read his autobiography after reading this. Yeah, I'm sure it's going to have more. Going to go into more, even deeper depths than this. Okay, so what? That's the one time I'm glad. What? Hold on. Have I changed the page? Have I flipped the page? Okay, so yeah. It seems Jay didn't understand the importance of those basic fundamentals. So he would make it clear not to ask Deontay Wilder twice. Okay, so I need to flip the page now. I'm glad Jay. What is this? Oh yeah, and then there's the gloves. To that I say, that's the one time I'm glad Jay treated me like I didn't matter. So he does all the head trainer aspects. The witness for the hand wraps. Changing the page. The witness for the hand wrapping. The press interviews. Everything where there is a camera involved. OMG. Saying anytime there was a camera involved, Jay made sure that he was doing the duties. Okay. So, except wrapping the hands. I'm the one for that. I'm not even sure Jay knows how to wrap hands. In all those years, 12 years, I can't recall seeing him do it once. OMG. So in 12 years of Mark Breland working with Deontay Wilder ever since he turned pro, he can't remember seeing JD's rap hands, not even once. I'm not sure if he even knows. In all those years, I can't recall seeing him do it. The last quote of mine I'll stand by is, "The rubbish was on the canvas." The rubbish was on the canvas? What does that mean? I don't do much talking in the ring. The rubbish, hold on, people have missed out on this. The rubbish was on the canvas. The rubbish, okay, so I think we found something that other people have missed. Hold on, let me see if I can do this in real time. Let me see if the people have missed the code. People have missed the code. Let me see if I can do this in real time. Let me see if I can do this shiznix in real time. And in comes the man from down under New Zealand, the man like Big Boys Boxing. Big Boys Boxing. How do you do?
I'm good, Ref. And yourself?
I'm doing good, my friend. I'm doing good. We're chopping this thing up here. This Mark Breland. This statement issued on Instagram by Mark Breland, where he's going in deep on what it was like, the experience of working with JD's and, more importantly, Deontay, the Bronze Bomber Wilder. What do you make of it so far, big boys?
Well, he's not bound by
any
confidentiality anymore, so the truth has come out, and it's pretty much what everyone suspected was the truth anyway, particularly with JD's, like you're talking about.
Yeah.
Don't need to wrap hands for Tybo.
Let me just kill this here because I think I've spotted something. As a matter of fact, rat-tat-tat-tat, I'm going to share it with you all. Let me share this. Let me move this into position. Hold on, what am I sharing? I'm currently sharing Mark Breland's statement. Let me drop that down and let me share. Well, let me read out the pertinent point that's triggered my attention. In all those years, I can't. The last quote of mine I'll stand by is, "The rubbish was on the canvas." What do you make of that statement, Big Boys Boxing? Do you make anything of it, or is it just a throwaway line?
Just a throwaway line, I think, yeah.
I thought it was a throwaway line. I thought it was a throwaway line until something occurred to me. Let me share my screen with you. Let me share this. Something occurred to me. I think everybody so far has missed it. But let's get it up here. Do you remember? Oh, I got too many windows. Do you remember when JD's picked up some white substance off the canvas, Big Boys Boxing?
No.
Okay, let me play the video because I did a video on it. What was it called? Spikegate. JD's and suspicious white packet. New development. Okay, let's play this thing. Is it playing? Yeah, it is. Okay, so there is the package. On the canvas. I think I had this one on extra slow. Let me speed it up just a little bit. In fact, let's do it double time, almost 2 times. Okay, so there you see the highlighted package on the canvas, and we're going to get back into the words of Mark Breland. But in the meantime, let's just have a look at this video that I made. Oh, we're zooming in some time ago, shortly after the fight. There we see JD say. There we see a white package. And remember, Mark Breland's words were, "The rubbish was on the canvas." I'm not saying that this is what he's referring to, but we can't rule it out. It could be, and there we see the sweep, which he missed. He missed it. Hold on, keep watching. Boom, you missed it. What does he do now? What does JD's do now? Oh, you missed it, Jay. What are you going to do? No, you missed it. What are you going to do? Oh. Boom. Picks it up real fast. The rubbish was on the canvas. Is this what is this what Mark Breland was referring to? Is this what Mark Breland was referring to? I'm not saying it is, and I'm not saying it ain't. Big Boys Boxing. Was it cryptic? You know, he's a deep thinker. You know, them quiet cats, they tend to be deep thinkers. What do you say? Big Boys Boxing.
You could be right. There could be something to it. What is it is another question. Is it something to do with the substances they use for cuts?
Could be.
But I can't imagine what else would be in the ring.
The rubbish was on the canvas. That was what Mark Breland said. And in comes the man like Leighton Evelyn. Leighton Evelyn. I think Leighton Evelyn is there. Leighton Evelyn is muted. Maybe Leighton Evelyn is not ready to speak. Oh, you're here. You're here. Leighton, how you doing? How you doing, Leighton?
Yes, Raph. I'm cool, bro. Well, I think it's just cotton bud. I do, mate. Do you know what I mean? It's out on the floor.
I knew he was going to say that. I don't know why. I just thought it was.
Honest,
I knew he was going to
honest
say
man,
that. The contrarian up in the building. I know that you would have said that. I know that the fight doctor. No, the fight doctor. He comes. Sometimes you think he's going to go left and he goes right. You never really know. But yeah, so it could have been some substance. It could have been.
It's like Mark was saying. Jay Diaz haven't got a clue about boxing, mate. He haven't got a clue. He ain't a cut man. He ain't nothing. He's just a manager. He's nothing. He don't know nothing.
Was he paid off by Keenahan? Was he paid off by Keenahan to drop, some of that substance in the water?
Don't even go there with me, Raph. Don't even go there. I listened to your show last night with EJ, mate. I'm with EJ.
Anybody who didn't catch the show last night with the EJ Boxing Talk with Rafi, 225. Do yourself a favor, not now, but after this, or maybe tomorrow. Save tomorrow as a treat. Have it with a glass of Irish cream or something. It's worth it. Well worth it. Okay, so the white substance could have been anything. It could have been something boxing related, or it could have been the dope that the bronze bomber has been speaking of. Listen, right, Nevrin, if he was saying he was doped, we cannot rule out that white substance wasn't part of it.
Yeah, I agree. If he's saying it, then yeah,
he said it. But, he said it. He said it. Not us, not you, not me. He said it. So if he said he was dope, does that not look like a suspicious package?
But then you got to look at Vada would have done a test and come up, unless he's got therapeutic exemptions. Do you know what I mean? And then they're not coming out with that, are they? Do you know what I
mean? Big Boys Boxing. What are your thoughts right now?
When it comes to doping in the drug test, VADA only test for banned performance-enhancing substances. They don't test for doping agents, so that wouldn't come up in the test.
But big boys. I think it would come up in the doping thing because they're not going to let you take that stuff, and it's not going to come up. It's going to come up, mate. I'll let you speak. Go on.
Yeah, well, it might have come up, but they're not obliged to tell anybody unless Deontay asks, was there any other substances that came up in the tests? But yeah, they're not going to say anything if it's not a banned substance, are they? Because that's what they're contracted to do, find banned substances, not other stuff.
That's an interesting point. So, okay, I would imagine that any doping agents would come under the banned substances.
You'd think so, but
I would.
It's a very, very long list.
Unless you've got therapeutic thing, it's going to come up as there's something in your system. It's going to come up, no matter what. It's going to come up. You can't take you can't take steroids, you can't take weed, you can't take coke, you can't take whatever. But how can you take a downer that's going to drug you? You can't. It's going to come up in your system. It's going to come up in it.
It's just occurred to me. I've been saying that. It might not show up in the test if he were doped, as he strongly alleges. If Deontay Wilder were doped, or if some doping agent was slipped into his system via his water, as he alleges happened. It just occurred to me. I've been saying, well, if they didn't find it in the original test, they'd find it if Deontay Wilder asked for a second test. But now I'm thinking about it. If
hold on.
If uppers are banned, then surely downers would be banned also. Simply because they would put the fighter at harm. So they would test for downers. I would imagine they'd test for downers. I don't think you'd need a second test for downers. But if you wanted a more thorough and comprehensive second test for downers, then that could be done. So if they didn't catch it first time around and Deontay Wilder asked for a retest with more extensively focused on downers, then they would have done so. So either way,
Raf, that's when they got the B. That's when they got the B test for there. The B samples there for. Yeah. That's why it's there for.
Yeah.
For that.
The second test. Yeah, the B sample. Yeah. So either way, that would have been found.
Also, don't forget he went to the hospital for an autopsy, and they would have done bloods there as well.
Ah, yes. Where are we now? Yeah. So he's had at least two. He's had at least much appreciation goes out to the Wild Soul. Much appreciation, Wild Soul. Good to have the Wild Soul up in the building over there from New York, making the chat litty along with the Leighton Evelyn. It's nice to get the appreciation for taking time out of the day to provide you with another show. Much appreciation for the appreciation. Okay, so like we say, either way, Deontay Wilder would have been tested not once, but twice, because remember, he had the autopsy. OMG. So he's had at least two tests. Hold on. He's had at least two tests. Two blood tests. Okay, so we don't know when the autopsy took place. It could have been a week later. They could have left him in the coffin, whatever. What was you saying, Leighton Evelyn?
I was saying they probably didn't bother with the test because they didn't bother with the test because he was dead, didn't it? It's an autopsy.
So either way. But you see, let's get back into. Let's stop that now for those who didn't see. Originally, when I dropped that video originally, and the name of that video is Spikegate, JD's and Suspicious White Package. Okay, so let's get that out of here for now, and let's go back into Mark Breland's. Hold on, I got too many windows. I'm all over the damn shop. So put that to one side. Yeah. Okay, so let's stop sharing that and go back into Mark Breland's thing. Yeah.
Do we know what round that video was from where the cotton buds on the floor?
No, I don't. Hold on. We can go back and have a look at it, see if the thing comes up in the corner of the screen. But off the top of my head, I would have to say no. Having said that, let me have a look. I'm just
wondering why I'm wondering is because a cotton bud's there for cleaning up blood, right? Yeah. And if Deontay's cut, how come the cotton blood ain't red?
Ha. Thank you. Well, and
I'll answer that because Raph, they ain't a cut, man. Jay-Z's, I got no experience at all. Nothing at all. He didn't know what to do with it, did he? Do you know what I mean? He didn't know what's this for. Do you know what I
mean? OMG. So mystery abounds. But I will add, you're in the right place, folks, because I've seen a bunch of people chop up this video, these writings from Mark Breland. I've seen a bunch of people chop it up, but nobody's caught on. Nobody's caught on to that little quote there where he says, the last quote of mine I'll stand by is, the rubbish was on the canvas. Everybody's missed it, but I'm maintaining, and I'm the first, I'm maintaining that there's a very strong probability that Mark Breland was referring to the exact moment that I just showed you. The rubbish was on the canvas. Everybody just skipped over that because they don't know what it means. I put it to you that you are the first right here on the Raphael Dawkins Combat Radio to get the inside meaning potentially of what Mark Breland was referring to. Well, hold on a second. With what? Hold on a second. What Mark Breland was referring to when he said the rubbish was on the canvas, like Nevlin.
Yeah, could it be some type of smelling salt or something as well, or Raf? Do you know what I mean?
Yo, Leighton, it could have been anything, my friend. It could have been anything, my friend. But it could also, remember, the man who is alleging that dope was involved was none other than Deontay Wilder himself. So if we're saying it could have been this, it could have been that, we cannot rule out that that suspicious white package may have been the doping agent that Deontay Wilder accused Mark Breland of applying to his drink. We can't rule that out, Mark. We can't rule it out. We can't rule it out. I don't do much talking in the ring, but with Lloyd Honeyghan, I did a Muhammad Ali talking as I beat him up. Okay. You just can't be so disrespectful to someone in public or private and not expect to get your ass beat. Okay. Now, this chapter of my life book has come to an end, and I won't be speaking about it anymore. To the ones who know me, I don't need to say anything. And to the ones who don't know, I'm not trying to defend such ridiculous, outlandish allegations. Lastly, at that fight, just as many others, we had no cut man because Deontay won't need it. I think you're saying that sarcastically. So I'm not a doctor, but I know blood coming out of your ears and dazed eyes could be a brain issue, and power comes from your legs, and his legs were gone. So I made a decision to stop the fight, and I'd do it all again. I have a son Deontay's age, and I'm not looking to see him go out on his shield. I hope we all stay safe. There are so many bigger issues in the world today. And the strong arm, the prayer, and the 100 from Mark Breland. Who wants to go? Who wants to go first on their analysis of this whole thing?
There you go, Leighton.
Off you go, Leighton.
Well, I'll tell you no. I'm Team Breland. I am Team Breland. Simple as. I respect Breland from where he's come from, and it's like everything that Breland's come out with. We've all been saying it for years. We've all been singing about it for years. That he don't train. We could see this from when Boxing Voice was showing videos. He don't train, don't do this. It's for the yes men. All the yes men around him. You've got to be, yeah. You're this, you're that, you're that. You're the king, you're the king, you're the king. You ain't no king, mates. You ain't no king. You've got no skills. You haven't put in the hard work, and you've knocked out 40 blood-clad bums. That's what it is. You have. You know what I mean? Simple as. And his own trainers come out with it and said it. It's all it is then you watching the RDCR and all these other people trying to defend him and hated, just trying to defend him. When, like, to me, Breland's a stand-up character. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's wasting his time training Wilder because he's come up with, what was I there for? But he was having a payday. But what was he there for? JD's. I'm asking everyone, who's his other fighter? Who else has JD's trained? JD's has just jumped on the bandwagon for the money. That's all he's done is grab Wilder, not let him go, and they've had a good ride. Fair play. They've had a lovely ride. They've carried on. But I think it's come to an end, mate. You know what I mean? Big boy, it's all about you, mate. Go on, crack on, son.
Yeah, well, I'm actually really surprised Breland stuck with Wilder that long. Not being able to train Deontay how he wanted to train him because Deontay didn't want to do this. He didn't want to do that. But I guess it's a job, and it was a world champion, so it's good, something good to have on your coaching resume. But Deontay coming out and saying that is, I don't know why he's doing this. He wasn't allowed to have a voice when he was in Deontay's camp before. Not only outside of camp, in camp as well. He didn't get much of a voice. He was pretty much there to, hold some mitts or wrap hands and do a little bit here and there, but his hands were tied to a degree. So I wish Mark Breland all the best in his future endeavors, and I'm glad he's not going to talk about this anymore. He said, the truth of what was happening. Deontay didn't like it. and he's come out and said that he must be jealous. How can he be so ungrateful? This sort of thing, it baffles me to a degree. So, yeah,
it is entirely baffling. Where do I begin? Where do I begin? Let's take a look at some of the comments in the comment section. Where are we? Where are we? A thing JD's trying to clear up. Yeah, was that the doping? Was that the doping? Was that the doping that was talking about? Nah, the thing he was spotted hiding. Does anybody know of any other fighter JD's has in his stable? Well, in a word, nah. No, I don't. Vaseline, Cotton Bud, rolling, laughing my ass off. Furious failed 3 drug tests, 2 times for nandrolone and once for cocaine. The man is a junkie, cheat. These are facts. Anyone can look up. I've spoken about those things multiple times over here at the Raphael Dawkins Combat Radio. Was that the egg-shaped object that has been spoken of? I don't know. It looked like a package.
Raph, wait a minute. Can I just say about the egg-shaped object? It's like what it is you've got Jay Diaz, who is no cut man, no corner man, doing. And when he's putting a plate on Wilder's head, it's like when you got a little leg on your head, if you can press it and you push it in, you can form it to any shape you want. Just means you don't know what you're doing, mate. And that's why it looks like he's got a dent, mate. Because Jay Diaz has pushed it in and formed it in that way, mate.
Yeah, I agree. It's the iron. They call it the iron that he pushed in and pressed down on the cheekbone. The cheekbone by the ear, and that is most likely what the dent was, a temporary dent in the swelling. Highly probable, highly likely, I go as far as to say. If Wilder passed test, it could have been a placebo. Law. Placebo. JD's is as much use as Joey Diaz. OMG. What we're talking about here, what we're looking at. What are the comments? JD's putting his finger in Wilder's ear instead. Where are we? It was very cryptic. Very cryptic. What does he say? Honestly, I have to be fair. You still have to ask why Mark Breland stayed with him for that long. That's a good question. I'll go first on this one. I think that he stayed with him. Well, first of all, he was with him because he was training him. So that's the reason he got with him. Right. So now when JD, when it becomes clear, well, obviously he was successful for a while. So obviously, initially, one can imagine that Deontay Wilder was listening and appeared to be learning. But then at some point, when he's piling up the knockouts, we all suspected it. We all said it. And now Mark Breland said it. He got to a point where he felt that he knew more than everybody else. And at that point, it appears he stopped listening, stopped learning. And Mark Breland also said that we'd wait for hours. So he had them waiting for hours before he would show up to training sometimes. And I put it to you that is not only disrespectful, but highly unprofessional. So you say you have to be fair, and that's why Mark Breland stayed. And of course, he was getting paid. He wasn't working on a voluntary basis, so he was getting paid. So there's a combination of reasons why Mark Breland stuck around. One, it was working to an extent at some point, and then when it stopped working, well, what do? You just walk out your job because your boss isn't listening to you, or do you stick around and continue to do your job to the best of your ability and pick up a paycheck? Big boys boxing.
Yeah, exactly. It's a job, and like I was saying earlier, coaching a heavyweight world champion looks good on a resume. Maybe he was happy with not having to work too hard, not being able to train Deontay how he wanted to. He's not a spring chicken anymore, so maybe he was just along for the ride. Maybe he's going to take it easy. maybe train one fighter and that's it or something, or maybe he's not even going to train anybody anymore. Maybe he's had enough. And I wouldn't blame him after this kind of fiasco, being accused of this sort of thing from somebody you've been loyal to for what, 9 years? It's ridiculous, man. Ridiculous.
Yeah. Leighton Evelyn, your take, your observations, your thoughts on why Mark Breland stuck around for so long?
Well, I'll tell you straight. The guy's 50 years of age when he started taking the job on. He's been in like 10, 12 years. Yeah, he's getting 10% of each fight. Well, Wilder was earning $2 million a fight. That's 200 grand a year, mate. When you're 50 years of age and you're earning 200 grand a year, that's me. I'll sit there and I'll learn that. That's why he kept his mouth shut and went there, because it's 200 grand a year, mate. Do you know what I mean? He had his big payday off the Tyson. I had enough, mate. The truth come out, mate. I had enough. Do you know what I mean? But he done the right thing. You've got to think, Breland is quality. America, they'll admit he's America's best amateur. Do you know what I mean? So he's going to train someone, and but no, he's not. He don't need to train no one else now. He's done. But he is one of the best trainers around. I wish I would have had him as a trainer, like when I was younger. I wish to God I would have. And he could have brought up some proper fighters who was wasted on Wilder. But it's money. It's about money. He was getting paid his money. Listen, if you was as educated as Breland, and then you got to go second to flipping J. Diaz. Come on, mate. Do you know what I mean? You can't. What the hell? Do you know what I mean?
Crazy. And I kind of related because Mark Breland spoke of JD's kind of coaching everybody, like, oh, he's in a good mood today, you're okay, yeah, have fun. You're always in a bad mood today, everybody needs to be quiet. JD's, that strikes me as a guy who's acting as a buffer, who wants to act as a buffer, kind of almost protecting his guy from anybody else, from outsiders, even people within the team. He seemed like JD's viewed them as outsiders, and so he would act as somehow like Deontay Wilder's interpreter in some kind of ridiculous kind of way. Oh yeah, I know his mood. You listen to me. You want anything you want to work on, you run it past with Deontay. You run it past me first, because he might not like it. And I see that in his character. I see that in JD's character. Big boys boxing. What do you think about that hypothesis?
Yeah, fair enough. Some kind of mood manager or go-between sounds like a good way of describing it. I mean, it's kind of like dealing with a female once a month, isn't it?
OMG.
And another thing, I heard off Goodfella Sports TV, does it? He reckons that JD's has signed a contract with Wilder, a lifetime contract. That's why he can't sack him. He cannot get rid of it, because he signed a lifetime contract.
I don't know if that's legal. I don't know if his lifetime contract is legal. Remember the Bosman?
No, that's football. That's football.
Hold on, yeah, that's football, but the Ali Act is boxing. And the Ali Act is boxing.
That's for a promoter. That's for a promoter. If you're there and he's signed up, he's gone like him started off for the gym. You've got to think he's walked to the gym with nothing, and when Wilder's done it, he's got him whatever. He's gone like, and Wilder's one of these type of people who says, "Oh, state loyalty means everything to me." Mate, you know what I mean? And he put JD's on a lifetime contract, and that's what I've heard off another.
I've heard that from many places, but I just don't think it's legal. You can sign someone for a lifetime contract. That's like some kind of slavery deal. That's not legal. That can't be legal. That cannot be legal. You can sign someone for a period of time, but it can't be an unlimited period of time. In no way. I don't even think there's any employment law that would support that. No way, no how. I've heard it said. I'm not going to
argue with you. I'm not going to argue. I don't know. I'm just saying what I heard, mate.
Yeah, I heard it too. But I would like further investigation into that, because I cannot see that as legal. And surely that would fall under the Ali Act. Surely.
But why is he wondering
why is he kept in it?
He stayed with it. Listen, I've had this hypothesis for a long time, and people I don't know if they took it seriously, but I'm very serious about the hypothesis. And I've had the hypothesis that one of the reasons JD's wouldn't allow Wilder and Wilder himself didn't want to go to other trainers and have people come in to help him. I've said it many a time on this show. I've said that I believe the reason for that is I believe they didn't want outsiders to see just how bad Deontay Wilder was. Big boys boxing.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering whether maybe there was some kind of contract they wrote up for JDS about maybe a finder's fee or finder's involvement for the entirety of his professional career, not his whole lifetime, something like that. But
yeah, get the percentage for life. I can see that.
Surely there's some kind of way you could do that legally if both parties are in agreement, you know. So maybe, but you could be quite right about not letting other trainers in for some other input about Deontay. By the sounds of it, he's a pretty hard dude to work with as a trainer. So there's that factor. Plus, like what you were saying, maybe they don't want other people seeing what he's not good at, even though we see most of that in the ring when he fights anyway. Everybody knows what he is good at. We can't miss that. But yeah, it's quite possible that's why we haven't seen him with other reputable trainers besides Mark Breland.
Because you only got to look at Ben Davis. You only got to look at Ben Davis, right? He was a nobody when he went with Tyson, right? He was hanging around with Billy Joe Saunders, got him in, and they said he was good, got Tyson going motivated, and after that, he's got work with other fighters and that. JD's has got no other fighters. It's like no one's come to him, even though like you've got a thing, you don't have no one coming to him. What does JD? I was watching him when Fury was getting his hands wrapped. He's just standing there laughing, smiling, and it's like he's all come on from him. Like he haven't got a clue, and that's why when I look at Mark Breland's statements, he has not got a clue, mate. I'm telling you, he has not got a clue. I don't know his boxing career. I don't know nothing. All I know is he had a gym. He's all about the money, and at the same time, don't forget, he's Wilder's manager as well as trainer.
Yeah. Yes. What was that suspicious package that JD's seen trying to sweep up or hide? Is he sweeping it up or hiding it? Interesting. Okay.
Is JD's the snake in the grass?
Well, Deontay Wilder says there's a snake in the grass, so the question has to be asked: was that snake JD's? Okay, so I don't know. Let's have a look at the comments. You saw evidence that Breland. You saw evidence that Ben Davison. Saw evidence of Ben Davison being a good trainer. Where's Breland's lads? Well, all I can say to that is that we know that Breland was a top shelf fighter. We know that. But who's the best guy that Breland has trained? That's a fair comment. Who's the best guy that Breland has trained? I don't know. I really don't know. Someone would have to come in with that.
I wouldn't have a clue who else he's trained. It's been that long. He's been with Wilder.
He's been with Wilder for so long, 12 years. Yeah, so we'd be going back 12 years ago.
I'd imagine they would have used him for the American Olympic team. I do imagine they would have used him for amateurs, not so much professional. Do you know what I mean? They would have used him for the Olympic amateur. And I'm sure he's been on the Olympic amateur team.
Okay. What's this going on here? The Bronze Plumber says, you are being very harsh on Dees. I have been reliably informed that before he started training Wilder, his boxercise classes were quite invigorating.
Quality.
Okay, good one. Where are we now? Did anything come from the accusations by Bailey being drunk? Absolute nonsense from Wilder. Absolute nonsense.
There's another potential lawsuit.
Yeah.
Right,
Well, I don't know.
here's another one, though. Here's another one.
I don't know why they don't take him to court. Both Mark Breland and Kenny Bayless should take him to court. Leighton Evelyn.
Here's another one. Every time Wilder has a fight, you have surgery all the time. You have surgery. When you have surgery, you have steroids, you have things to make you get better. How do people not know that he's not having therapeutic use for it? And that's what I believe. I really believe that's the stuff that's coming on next, mate. Because he always seems to have surgery all the time. Surgery, you have surgery, you can have medicine for it going on for the next 6-12 months. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. Jakov Gospic says Femi has a TUE 2, therapeutic use exemption 2. All of the top heavyweights are on page. Where is the evidence of that?
Where's your proof? Where's your proof?
Well, yeah. Words are easy. Where's the proof? Where is your evidence? Show me. Give me a link. Post up any kind of link, which says Femi is official link, obviously, which says Femi has a TUE exemption. Where is it?
If that proof doesn't come from Anthony Joshua, then it's fake or obtained from illegal sources, and you end up in jail because that's medical records and they are private. So watch yourself.
Yeah. I'll post up that link from Anthony Joshua or his doctor or the British Boxing Board of Control. Post it up.
But Raf, you could have a TUE, right, for eczema. Because you could have eczema, and then you could put that cream. It's got steroids to the cream, so then they'll give you a fair. Don't say you're going to win a fight because of it, but you can have it just for eczema. Do you know what I mean?
Excellent point. TUE. That some people think that the TUE means testosterone use exemption. No, it means therapeutic use exemption. So if you've got any kind of medical condition, and it's checked out and verified and double checked and verified, and there are some drugs that you need to take, some medication that you need to take, then you can get a therapeutic use exemption. It doesn't mean that the substance, the medication that you take will enhance your performance in the ring. So hopefully that's been a comprehensive lesson there for those who don't know what a TUE means.
And also to add on that, if you have medication that is strong enough to enhance your performance, they will not give you the TUE. You have to sit out until it's out of your system.
Boom. Comprehensive teachings and lessons there on what a TUE actually means. Not what you think it means. What's going on here? There's some Lennox Lewis talk going on. Lennox Lewis had a great career. He is not a good trainer. How do you know he's not a good trainer? Who he trained? How do you know he's not a good trainer?
He's given tips on camera, but that's about it. There's no full-on training. He's trained nobody.
He hasn't trained anybody to the best of our knowledge, but that doesn't prove that he's a bad trainer. You know what I'm saying? A man made an allegation that Lennox is not a good trainer. Well, how do you know? How do you know? He says, can you prove it? Can you disprove it? Boom, it's one of them, ain't it? It's one of them. Boom. In comes the return of Leighton Evelyn. What's going on here? Breaking news has moved to Breaking news. Mark Breland has moved to Marbella to take up a position of resident trainer at the NT Global Gym. This completes payment of the offer he could not refuse. Okay. Would Lennox have experience and technique he could pass on? Absolutement. How's it going? Lennox trained David Price, sir. He did for a bit. Yes, he did. Breland also trained Vernon Forrest. Okay. We need to know the year, the time, what years, what was the results, etc. under Breland's tutelage. Okay, so what else is there to say on this topic? I got another little couple of little items. I think if we've done with this one, David Price has done okay considering he's got a glass jaw. Hey, considering he's got a glass jaw, he's done a hella well. Okay, so to round it up, I'm going to go around the table, let people round up what they think about Mark Breland's position. Mark Breland's position on the Deontay Wilder thing. First of all, I think I'll go with you, Leighton Evelyn.
Yeah, well, like I said before, I think Mark Breland's a class act, mate. I think he's a class act. I think he was in a poor situation with a poor camp, with poor people around him, and he put up with what he had to put up with for all the years, and he's got to where he's got to now. Do you know what I mean, mate? He's done well, and he's realised he was chucked under the bus. He was murdered. He was vilified. He was everything, and he's got to where he is. He just stuck up for himself, mate. I don't know whether now he's probably think, hang on, I'll find people who are going to train, people who give him respect. Because Deontay Wilder, I think, is the end of him. I'm not saying Deontay Wilder can't bang, but when he goes with anyone else, everyone's going to know, push him back on his back foot. He cannot fight. And he haven't got an engine. He ain't got an engine.
You don't have an engine because you don't run. You don't do the things you need to do to maintain an engine. You don't run. What else? You don't skip. Running and skipping. If you don't run, you got to skip. If you don't skip, you got to run. You can't not do neither. That simply is an option. So, Big Boys Boxing, your final thoughts and observation on the Mark Breland's writings, utterances, insight on working with Deontay, the Bronze Bomber Wilder.
Well, I'm glad Mark Breland came out and told everyone what was going on. There was also Deontay doesn't hit the heavy bag as well.
Yeah. Or the speed bag. Yeah. And this is the kind of thing that happens when you fire the wrong man. It should have been JD's that was gone, and Mark Breland stayed, and maybe had George Foreman come in like he offered to help out. Maybe give Deontay an idea on how to jab properly. Yeah.
But you can talk to a post, and if it doesn't listen, nothing's going to happen, right? So,
yeah. Deontay Wilder seems like a very, very, very stubborn individual.
Right. Yeah. Can I say something? When I grew up in the gym, if I never went on a speed bag, I never hit the heavy bag, and I never skipped, what was I doing? What was I doing?
Or run.
What's the point in going to the club? What am I doing? Yeah.
It's crazy. It's bizarre. Deontay Wilder strikes me as a very stubborn individual, very stubborn character. Everything JD says, it fits in with what I think of how I think of Deontay Wilder. The only thing that kind of surprised me was the ill manner, the moodiness kind of surprised me. But then we see him being moody and going quiet and being silent. And he's always so theatrical. So even though I never anticipated it, I thought he was a happy guy in camp. Now JD's says it. I can imagine it. Everything JD's has said to me, Big Boys Boxing has a ring of authenticity to it.
It does indeed. Yeah. I really feel bad for Deontay. It's like he's brainwashed to JD's. He thinks he's really good because he says yes all the time. Yes, Deontay. No, Deontay. 3 bags, full Deontay. It's not good, and I think it's fueling his delusion.
Yeah, yeah. I think JD's has been the primary stoker of Deontay Wilder's delusion, like you just said. Yeah, carry on, Big Boys Boxing.
Yeah, there's not much else to say on it, really.
No.
To be honest.
Yeah.
So,
but JD's was the facilitator. I think maybe that's one of the words I was looking for earlier. Is the facilitator. He acted like
it's like when you're the big bully in school. When you're the big bully in school, you're going to tell all the other kids this is what it is, this is what is happening, this is what it is. All the other kids are going to agree with you. Don't just say it's right, but they're all going to agree with you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, JD's is that little hanger-on kid that just wants to say yes so he doesn't get beat up.
Yeah. I'll carry your bag for you. Let me carry your bag for you. Let me carry your bag for you. He's one of them guys. So everything that Mark Breland said has had, to me, carries the ring of authenticity. I believe it all. And I was going to go to another couple of quick topics, but I don't really know if they tie in. Let me have a look here. I don't really know if they tie in. Okay, but this one seems relatively short. So we're just going to tickle this one. It's going to be a tickler. We're going to tickle it and then leave like a gentleman should. Okay. Okay. So let me share my screen with you. Let's stop sharing that and start sharing this. Where is it? Boom, boom, boom. Okay, let me see if that's up on the screen. Let me make it a bit bigger so it's visual. You can read along. Those who like to read along can read along. Let's boom. Okay, I think that should be better.
Yeah, I heard about this with the interview with Eddie earlier, because I think he's going to have problems because he's coming from Portugal, so red zone coming into UK, you're going to have problems, mate.
Never thought about that. And I hadn't heard anything about it until I saw the article, Mr. Tickles. Okay, so last thing for today. You know, the Rafi likes to make sure people leave with a full belly. Okay, so Dillian Whyte to move training camp from Portugal to Spain. Okay, so Dillian Whyte looks set to move his training camp to Spain for his rematch with Alexander Povetkin after Portugal, where he has been in training. After Portugal was placed on a list of countries from which travel to the UK is banned due to the coronavirus or the coronavirus pandemic. I didn't know this. Okay. So White has based himself in Portugal since the start of the pandemic, but the country has been placed by the UK government on a red list of countries with high rates of transmission. Okay, I didn't know that either. There he is, Dillian Whyte with Xavier Miller. Okay, I think we're due to talk to Xavier again soon. Gotta hit him up. Gotta give him a ring. Okay, so Povetkin claimed the interim WBC. Oh, and for those who don't know, I've got about 3 interviews with Dillian Whyte's trainer, Xavier Miller, on the channel. All you gotta do is go into my channel and click, type into the channel Xavier Miller. And you should have about at least 3 interviews come up. Okay, so Povetkin claimed the interim WBC heavyweight title with a 4th round KO over Whyte in the Garden of Matchroom's Essex headquarters in August. Imagine that, putting fights on in your garden. Bloody hell, that's something. That is something. Okay, so the rematch is now due to be on March the 6th. So what's that? Pretty much February, March. Almost exactly 1 month from now. Or about 33 days, 32 days, 33 days, something like that. So he's going to move his camp. He's going to move his camp probably to Spain. Eddie Hearn, the promoter, said. At the moment, the ruling would be he would have to come 10 days before the fight. But I expect within the elite athlete exemption, he would be allowed to effectively isolate in the bubble, away from everyone else in the bubble. But we would create his little isolation area. Okay, so that hasn't been approved yet by the government. So with that, he has to either come on February the 14th, the day before that government isolation kicks in, or he would have to move his camp. That's something we're talking about, and I think it's likely he will move to Spain and isolate there in camp. There is no ruling, I believe, to isolate in Spain from Portugal, but he would still have that period to isolate because he's on his own with his team. Okay. There have been talks of staging the fight abroad, possibly in a country that would allow a crowd or a pay site fee, or somewhere that would make travel for White and Povetkin easier. But that's unlikely now, with the fight expected to go ahead behind closed doors at the SSE Arena. Also, this one isn't going to be in Eddie Hearn's garden. It's going to be at the SSE Arena. Okay, so we're looking at staging the event internationally, but I believe we were looking at staging the event internationally, but I believe logistically we can follow the regulations and stage it in London. And that's where we'd rather do it. That's what we would rather do. That's where we would rather be. Okay, so that's the news there. The headline being Dillian Whyte to move his training camp from Portugal to Spain, España. Any thoughts on that, Big Boys Boxing?
Yeah, I'm wondering whether the situation may change as well, and Spain may end up being on that list as well.
Yeah.
If that happens, that's going to be a problem. So I'm wondering whether it's better for Dillian just to come back on February 14th and finish his camp in the UK. I mean, he'd be close to his kids. There'll be a little bit more distractions, but at that time of the camp, you're going to be tapering off anyway. So the bulk of the training will be done by the time he comes back. So I think it's a better idea for him to come back, go to the UK and just taper off in the UK and make sure there's no other hitches that can happen.
Yeah, play it safe, cut down the margins for error. Leighton Evelyn, any observations, any thoughts on that?
Yeah, Big Boys Boxing hits on hammer on a nail, mate. It's probably going to change within a matter of time to Spain. And this is why, because like we're New Zealand, Big Boy Boxing will say New Zealand, they hit the hammer on the nail. They just shut their borders down. They stopped anyone coming in, anyone coming out. Oh, yeah, it was just a complete mess, mate. We're an island, but how are we the worst in the whole of Europe when we're an island, right? It's a complete mess, mate. Always been run, right? But then it's going to change. I could see this fight, and I'll be honest with you, going international, going out the country. It's not going to be in this country because then Povetkin could say, "Oh, I just went to Portugal or I've been somewhere. I can't come in." So he's still left with the belt, isn't he? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If he uses his heads, he can say, "No, there's no way." So they're going to have to arrange it out of the country, mate. I'm telling you, because Povetkin and his people will be clever. They'll come from Russia. They'll say, "Oh, we just landed in Portland or Spain or whatever the red zone is. Oh, we can't come in. Oh, what you know? Next thing you know, we're the WBC mandatory then, didn't we? Do you know what I mean? Watch. Trust me, mate. You've got to use your edge here, mate."
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. There's some funny comments. There's some funny but there's some funny comments that I've just seen in the chat. Let me go over there. Let me go over into the chat as we bring the show as we come close to the end of the show. Let me just scroll through this. Let me just get rid of that. Boom. Okay. And I think we're okay, get rid of that too. Boom. And I think, okay, no references to spreading of the certain part of the anatomy, Bronze Plumber, and no reference to nibbling a certain part of the female's anatomy either, Bronze Plumber. But other than that, all good in the hood. Okay, so and with that, we've come to the end of the show. It's been 1 hour and 30 minutes, nice, tight, and concise. I think we've looked at the Breland thing comprehensively and thoroughly. Final words on everything for me is that I'm glad that Mark Breland came out, and I believe what he says. He's got the ring. What he says to me has the ring of authenticity carries the ring, bears the ring of the ring of the what? The ring. He has the ring of authenticity to it. I believe the fella. As for Deontay Wilder, my position on Deontay Wilder is he alleges that he has proof. He has proof of wrongdoing. He has proof of foul play. So all I've got to say to Deontay Wilder is show the proof. Show the proof. Show the toxicology report. Let's see the toxico. Okay, I get you. Let's see the toxicology report. Let's see it. I want to see it. Over to you, Big Boys Boxing. Your final words.
Yeah, all power to Mark Breland. Good on him for telling the truth. Hope he does well with his future endeavors. Thank you very much for having me on. And It's been a pleasure as usual, man. Take it easy.
100%. That was the Big Boys Boxing. He's got his own channel. Go check him out. Much appreciation for the participation. Whoops, what did I just do there? Okay, and then there were two. Leighton Evelyn, good to have you on. Your thoughts and observations.
Yeah, my final thoughts are I'm with Breland all the way, mate. All the way, 100%. And I'll shout out to British boxing, strongest as ever, and the whole world hates it. British boxing will keep going. Eddie Hearn is doing a hell of a job, and he's producing fight after fight after fight. British, stand up and be proud. End of.
100%. And that was the Leighton Evelyn. Much appreciation to you for jumping on, taking time out of your day, Leighton, for jumping on, and catch you the next time. And that was the Leighton Evelyn. And then there was one, because there can only be one. Round of applause to myself. Okay, so that was it. I think we covered it comprehensively. I think we did a good job, and we also hit upon an element that everybody else has missed: the rubbish on the canvas. And yeah, everybody else missed that one. Yeah. That's another good point. I forgot to say, Wilder, if you ain't showing your proof, don't bother talking about it. 100%. And why would you not show the proof if you got the proof? Why would you not show proof if you got the proof? The only way you don't show the proof if you got the proof is you're a damn liar. You ain't got no proof. If you got proof, show the proof. If you got proof, show the proof. I want to see the results of the autopsy. Oh, gosh, why am I covering the evidence? Okay. Why am I covering the evidence? Why am I covering what JD was covering? What's that all about? Everybody else missed it, but I put it to you. That was the rubbish on the canvas. Like Brock Breland said, cryptic words. The rubbish was on the canvas. The rubbish was on the canvas. We're zooming in. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. Where are we? Okay. So that the boys boxing, the proof's in the bag. The proof is in the bag. Okay. So what can I say? It's the Raphael Dawkins. It's the Combat Radio. It's the like. It's the surprise. It's the subscribe. It's the comments. It's the shares. What was that on the canvas? Well, we're saying what was that on the canvas? We're saying it could have been the dope that Deontay Wilder accused Mark Breland of doping him. Or we're saying the proof is in. We're saying the proof is in the white substance in the little white bag that JD's dropped on the canvas. That's what we're saying. We're saying the proof is in the bag. That little white bag right there. OMG. Oh, that's the rubbish on the canvas. The JD's trying to sweep up and misses. Look, he's missed it. Oh, dope. Okay. So what can I say? It's the Raphael Dawkins. It's the Combat Radio. It's the like. It's the subscribe. It's the comments. It's the shares. And it's the proof is in the bag, the rubbish on the canvas. Nothing else to say but blessed.